very warm welcome to all of you to the Blub World Web Talks 212th episode. In the last 211 episodes, we have talked to, interacted with more than 3,000 school leaders on this very platform where they've shared their ideas, opinions, innovations, and what all new are they doing in the education space. तो नमस्कार, आप सभी का स्वागत है ब्लब वर्ल्ड वेब टॉक्स के 212वें एपिसोड में। पिछले 211 एपिसोड में हमने करीबन 3000 से ज्यादा शिक्षाविदों से बातचीत की और उनसे जानने की कोशिश की कि वो शिक्षा को कैसे बदल रहे हैं और शिक्षा उन्हें कैसे बदल रही है। तो अगले 60 मिनट जो आप हमारे साथ में हैं, हम आज विल बी टॉकिंग अबाउट अनदर टॉपिक एंड टेकिंग द ओपिनियंस, आइडियाज ऑफ पीपल हु रन स्कूल, हु मैनेज सो मेनी स्टूडेंट्स, thousands and thousands of students every single day. और इतने सारे स्टेक होल्डर्स को एक साथ रखते हुए टीचिंग लर्निंग प्रोसेस को कंटिन्यू करने का काम ये रोजाना करते हैं। So before we start today's session, just some ground rules. First, the Blub World Web Talks is kind of a speaking sprint. It's not a speaking marathon. So the speaking time is limited. And once your speaking time is over, you might get muted. If you get muted, please don't get offended. It's just to keep the activity crisp and interesting for everyone. Once you're nearing the conclusion of your time, just 30 seconds before that, you'll see my hand in the air. Once you see my hand, that means you have to start concluding and you have 30 more seconds left. After that, you might get muted. Secondly, it's a bilingual platform. So आप अंग्रेजी या हिंदी में से कोई भी भाषा इस्तेमाल कर सकते हैं। कोशिश करें that you stick to any of these two languages. If you use a third one, I might not get it. So thank you so much everyone for joining us today for this 212th episode. And let's talk about CUET. Is it a success or a failure? Some time back, the government of India announced that let's bring all these central universities together and एक centralized university entrance test लिया जाए या इनका admission process जो है थोड़ा और standardize किया जाए, थोड़ा और centralize किया जाए. Now, is this decision and is this mechanism successful or a failure? We'll try to understand from our amazing guests today. Thank you so much, everyone. Let me invite the first speaker for today to initiate this roundtable. A very warm welcome to Mr. Nighil N, the academic mentor from Amrita Vidyapeetham, Coimbatore, Tamil Nadu. Nighil, over to you for the next 3 minutes. Please unmute yourself and a very warm welcome.
Thank you. So I'm new to this. So just want to start hope you all know we are in a tough situation because you know what's happening in this current scenario. So quickly, I just want to share one PPT. So we know what is this confusions between this USET and all. So actually we know, this things are creating for ultimately beneficiary of the students. So here our students, that's the main thing. So we have to focus in their way because each and every student will have their own skills and their own likes in different subjects. So initially, if a student want to pursue their higher studies or if they want to go to their interested skills or their area, they have to go to some, they have to attend some examinations, different types of competitive examinations. So likewise, each and every different universities are conducting different universities and they need to go to different universities website and they need to register and they have to attend and they have to check with different syllabuses and they have to, they are a little confused and maybe they feel tough and even each student are from different background. For example, some students from the state and some students into CBSE and some students into ICSE. So ultimately, some universities will judge based on the 12th mark. So here, the student is failing because maybe the student want to pursue their studies in BSc Physics. So the university or the college admission people will look up into this all the subjects marks and ultimately they will put some cutoff and ultimately the shortlisting of the process will happen. So in this, like you said, it is an advantage that student can showcase their interest and skills into particular subjects and student can able to write. Student can able to prepare and actually student can able to concentrate in particular subject and based on that student can able to go to their interested area as well as into their dream colleges also and not into this 12th mark completely. So that is a first advantage or maybe that we can say. And the second thing is the confusions in the ranking. Each and every universities are following different types of cutoff systems and universities cutoff system that's varying depend upon this 12th. Basically, they will focus on this 12th ranking. 12th mark. So ultimately, again, students getting affected. So maybe like again, that is like with the help of this user, we can have some good system so that like university after receiving this USET mark, the equality of this university means the students may be like equal. Students can be treated as an equal way and they can get into this dream college. And moreover that one more point I just want to focus, it's like the clarity of ranking. And even the clarity of ranking wise, student is feeling different, awkward, and even different universities are providing different types of ranking systems. Ultimately, USET ranking will give the students a clear idea about their preference, and thus they can focus on getting admission to interested college without any hassle and confusions. And now, if it's checked with the university related, you'll get an opportunity to equal opportunity to each university, because if you take different types of universities like private universities or deemed universities or whatever it may be, each and every universities follow spending a lot of money and they are spending for different types of entrance examinations. So ultimately, some university may be highlighted or some universities may be promoted with the examinations they have conducted, and some universities will go to backward.
Thank you so much, Nighil. The first 3 minutes were all, but we'll try to come back to you. I think, yes, it will establish a commonality, a common ground for all the universities. It will bring them on a single platform. Students के लिए भी ranking समझना आसान हो जाएगा. It will bring everything into a standardized format. But there are some challenges in the execution of it as well, from the perspective of the parent, from the perspective of the schools, which we'll try to know from the school leaders, that do they think that was it a very planned effort? Is it working very well? Is it smooth? Or are there some challenges or some glitches that are being faced? Let me invite the next speaker for today. A very warm welcome to Mr. Abhay Ghosh, the director for Shanti Asiatic School from Shela, Bopal, Ahmedabad, Gujarat. Abhay, over to you for the next 3 minutes. Please unmute yourself and a very warm welcome.
Thank you, everybody. Good evening to all. I think this CUET and CUSET, we already had CUSET, I think, somewhere in 2010. And only 14 universities were participating in that exam. That was not that successful. And this is this CUET is actually kind of a reform, which is again came after NEP, when NEP was introduced in 2020. And now I think almost more than 40 universities, central universities, are participating in it. So I think there are challenges initially. There would be, because it was last year, it was pandemic, and the exams could not start probably the way it had to start on time, and there were certain issues. So there would be always teething problems, But this year, I believe things would be better, because first of all, there is no pandemic, and the exams are being held by CBSE and all the other boards on time. So I think children will also get some time to prepare for these exams, and they will not be stressed out. And the whole idea of bringing these exams to actually relieve students from the pressure and the stress that that all the universities, they have their own cutoffs, and then 99.9 and things like that. And then the children, they feel that they are good, but they missed out on that particular merit list. So the idea was that, and it is actually emphasizing on two things. One is that the holistic learning, whether the child has his overall knowledge, and secondly, there's of course the subject knowledge in which he's seeking the admission. So that's how it is being balanced. And of course, because there's an entrance exam, and there is I think equal opportunity given to all the students to compete in the examination. And also probably all there are different boards all across India. So there are state boards, there are central boards, there are various boards across India, and all the assessment of all these boards, I'm not sure whether they're all on the same page, and they're all on, whether you can vouch for them that the standards are same of all the boards. So therefore, removing that disparity, also these exams probably are helping the students to come on the same platform, whether he comes on a very from a remote village in Uttar Pradesh, or he is sitting in the capital of India, and from a very good school there out there. So I feel it's a good effort. It's a nice effort. The thought behind is good. Now it is the execution. Now there would be always problems in execution if something new has come up. So we'll have to give it little time and let us wait and see that how things turn up. And I'm sure that that every year the execution will be better, because I'm sure the National Testing Agency is looking after it. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Abhay. And yes, when we talk of execution, there will always be glitches. थोड़ा सा समय और देना चाहिए. Let CUET also perform. The National Testing Agency also remove all the glitches जो आ रहे हैं. But I think you're very right when you say, because when you come from different boards, you come from very different evaluation sets. Every board has a different evaluation set. You come from a different world altogether. Bringing them on to a single platform solves the problem to some extent, that everybody will get to perform and they get a new opportunity. But at the same time, it creates a new barrier or a new entry barrier for everyone, that let's prepare for one more examination when we are already preparing for dozen more. So thank you so much, Abhay. Let me invite the next speaker for today. A very warm welcome to Mrs. Archana, Manocha, the principal for Mothers Global School from Delhi. Archana, over to you for the next 3 minutes, and a very warm welcome.
Thank you, Mr. Daksh, Gaur, and good evening to everyone. So for years, we've been talking, fretting, and worrying about these inflated grades that students score in their board exam. 90% is the new normal now, the new average, the yesteryear 60%. And students scoring above 90%, don't you think that it is an amazing percentage? But still, they struggle to get admission in choice of their college or choice of their course. Then came the savior, the CUET, the Central University Entrance Exam, to address the grade inflation and act as an equalizer to create equal opportunities and put an end to subjective biases caused due to different state-level board patterns. So basically, CUET emerged from the inputs of NEP, where the government wanted that all higher education institutes should have a common entrance exam to ensure unified standard for benchmarking applicants. So centralization all over the country of this test will ensure that students are able to explore their merit across curriculum of preferred subject and in language of their choice. So basically, the emphasis of CUET are on two things. Number one, appraisal of holistic knowledge of students, and number two, to gauge how good students are in the subject opted for and general aptitude. So the idea is that students excelling in any particular subject should be able to pursue education in that stream. And average performance in other subjects should not act as deterrent to get entry into their desired colleges. The drawbacks are that the number of coaching institutes have all of a sudden mushroomed all over the places. And we all know that students at this age, they are generally tend to have that herd mentality, and then they blindly follow others. So everybody is going to coaching institute and nobody is giving due emphasis on school learning. The second drawback is that along with board exam, they have the extra pressure on them. Third is that there is still an ambiguity about admission on the basis of sports, quota, and extracurricular activity. The pros are that students do not have the pressure to score extremely well in board exams. And but in case of a tie, they have to, the board percentage will be counted. Now, I think the solution is that a blend of class 12th marks and CUET perhaps can be a better solution to retain the significance of school learning. I think all of you will agree that as far as the execution is concerned, it is too early for making any comment. And many of us are not even familiar with the nitty-gritties to understand the basic of CUET. And for that, we still have to do a lot of research and look into the actual execution and implementation of CUET in its right spirit. CUET is just in its infancy stage, not even a year old. We cannot make conclusion based on the first.
Thank you so much, Archana. The first 3 minutes were over, but we'll try to come back to you again. I think some very important points that you raised ki it needs to be a combination. नहीं तो school teaching और school learning की आप criticality पूरी तरीके से खत्म कर देते हैं. You just say that whatever you learned in your school, just leave it behind, come for the examination, we'll reevaluate everything. And you create a new opportunity in a window for, again, a big, series of coaching institutions just standing up to do this, that let's prepare for CUET. So is it a, all-inclusive solution is a big question, but is it a, part of another problem in play is something that we need to evaluate a little bit more on. So thank you so much, Archana ji. Let me invite the next speaker for today. A very warm welcome to Dr. Prakash Chaudhary, the Director for Prestige Public School from Indore, Madhya Pradesh.
Thank you so much, sir. And first of all, I'm extremely sorry. I was in one of the meeting in the university regarding 26 January, that is Jhanda Ucha Rahe Hamara. So I am in a car. So I'm sorry, but I'll try to do justice with the topic. CUET 2022. As Archana ji told, last year only it has started. See, the problem is a number of subjects in CUET and the number of languages which were used for the medium of instruction. So that was a huge problem for any of the agency, whether you talk about National Testing Agency who has conducted or any other agency. But to my understanding, it's a very good initiative. Otherwise, every good university will conduct their own examinations and child will have more pressure, more stress. Talking about, we all the time talk about children are in great pressure, children are in great stress. Why children are in stress? See, I mean, if a child deserves to be in IIT or IIMs, he should or she should. But if they are not, it's not a failure of the life. Because life is more important than the IITs and IIMs. This is what we have to teach to our children. As a school teacher, principal, or a director, I understand this. I'm now talking about why CUET 2022 has been rated that probably it has failed in implementation. The reason, because I am a city coordinator of this National Testing Agency in Indore city, in Indore district, in Madhya Pradesh. So what problem we have faced is, see, the number of centers, the number of sessions. And then one speaker was talking about different boards. Believe me, NTA has tried to normalize the percentage of these children in the different boards. We all should be optimistic and everyone should try honest efforts. So I think CUET will be a very successful. There had been a number of reasons. Maybe it was a COVID period. Maybe n number of agencies were involved. As you know, it is a CBT, computer-based test. So given to some agency, then AICTE was involved, NTA was involved, and many more things. But I think even they understood it, and this time, this kind of problems will not be there. The organizer has given me 3 minutes, but I'm sure again we will be talking. So thank you so much, and I see a big future in CUET for the children, and don't take it as a pressure or a stress on the children, though it will be helping to our young generations. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Prakash. I think you added the insider's edge to the discussion. You yourself have faced the challenges of less testing centers, of less number of slots, and children being worried of not being able to attend the CUET. And yes, this is the big challenge why this topic actually came into existence, because in the execution, the challenges are big and they're manifold. That is why whenever we talk of a new thing coming in, we always have to give a lot of space for execution. In India, execution is like a white elephant that does not move at all. And in education, it moves even slower. So we've actually heard all the opening statements from all of you. Now it's an open floor. If you think that anything you wanted to add, you got muted, or is there anything that you want to add to the discussion at this point, you can unmute yourself and share that. But before we do that, a small little question that if CUET as an examination will standardize the complete country or community when we talk of education, are we challenging diversity? Are we not giving enough space to regionality? So anyone who wants to add on this, Abhay ji, if you want to contribute something to this, that different boards actually give different opportunities and different ecosystems to children. Is standardization killing that? Over to you.
See, I think there are two ways of looking at it. One is standardizing. Sometimes, it's also called as giving equal opportunities. So in that way, if a child wants to seek admission in Delhi University and is in any remote part of India and probably not getting access to a central board, so he can still try for it. He can still give that exam. He can still try for it. Now, the thing is that, yes, there are different boards, state boards, and there are lots of things. There are lots of private universities coming up. So if still, I don't think so that this exam is going to stop anybody from getting an access to good education, right? So there are lots of universities which are doing a great job in their own states, and the children are free to even go there and study. This exam is actually a centralized exam for central universities. So it's CUET, right? So it is still not stopping anybody to take admission in any other college in their state or in any part of the India.
Absolutely. This is for the central universities, but the program or the plan, the proposed idea behind the examination is to bring every university onto a single forum and let admissions only happen through this. So what does Amrita or a private player in the space think on this, Nighil? What's your thought that would this standardization be adding to the effort, or would it typically be ruining the whole picture? Over to you.
Actually, we can't tell now, because it is like just have started, and maybe each and every year, what's happening in the technology and the things are changing. And even in our university, we are framing different types of courses, and even we are moving into different types of new courses based on the changes what's happening in the real world. Even students now currently preferring computer science. And because we are into more engineering, I just want to specifically tell students are not preferring the other branches. So that is the biggest confusion which is happening in the students' choice, and they are looking into the what is happening, and maybe as some speaker have told, the guidance, or else the ma'am have told that like students are maybe unknowingly they are going behind the things because somebody have told, because they don't know what's happening and they are still small. But that type of changes are also happening. In this current scenario, we can't predict what will happen, and maybe we have to wait for 1 or 2 years. Maybe it will lead to success, or maybe it will lead to failure. We can't.
Thank you so much, Nighil. We'll again have to wait. Before we, go to the conclusion of the section, Prakashji, I think we would want to get your opinion on this. That is CUET's execution, that you think that would it get streamlined in the next 1 year, or it will take even more than that?
See, I am very hopeful and optimistic. I think it will be streamlined. And see, it was for central universities, very rightly told. But yes, your thought is very clear, and that is the idea of the government, that all the universities should come under this umbrella. But by any reasons, it will be very difficult to bring all of them. But your question basically was whether it will be streamlined or not. I think within a year, even this year, you will find the great changes are there. I agree. Last year, the exam, there were many chaos, many problems were there. But this year, this kind of problems will not be there. And within a year or two, I think it will be a successful examination, like JEE is conducted, NEET UG is conducted, or NET is conducted.
Thank you so much, Prakashji. And we were very hopeful that this examination turns out to be the next IIT JEE of India, and we're able to, reduce the admission form costs of children who have to bear every single university's form, pay the price, and then be appearing in these different examinations. It will make standardization, and it will also give equal opportunities to everyone. So thank you so much, everyone, for being a part of this session. This was the 212th episode of the Blub World Web Talks. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, and if you're not in the future sessions, open your audio, say a big yes, and thank you so much for being here with us for this session. Namaste. Have an amazing evening ahead.